Hey guys, Barefoot Willie here. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've been taking care of some things on the farm, some things in the barn, some things on the property, things like that I need to get done. You can't play cars all the time, unfortunately. I'm also waiting on a bunch of stuff for the Land Rover. I got to get that stuff in here. That Land Rover's north, they're killing me. I love them to death, but they're killing me right now. Anyway, on the other hand, I've been slowly gathering the stuff that we need for the Volare. I don't know if you've seen the short or not. I don't even know if I'm doing that right. But either way, I've managed to amass quite the collection of the parts that I need to put this engine in this car. Now you might be wondering, because I think I've done a lot of videos on this and I haven't done a lot of explanation. I bought a car, 1965 Dodge Dart, from a man in Dunedin. I'm trying to remember his name. It was 3-4 years ago now. I went and visited him to see about purchasing the car. It was a shell. Well, then he talked me into buying the car, a slant 6 motor, a brand new rebuilt 904 transmission, or the 727 for this model, the one with the extra clutch pack, whatever, if that's a thing. I heard it was. I bought all the stuff. I gave him $3,000. He threw in a complete 440 block, crank, heads, everything. It was just such a good deal. I couldn't go without it, you know. Well, when I got the car back, there was a lot of good work done to it, but there was a lot of kind of, you know, and it was just too much, you know. This thing here, unfortunately, this is my Dodge Dart that I built years and years ago, and I learned a lot of lessons from building this car, man. And thank God I was making a bunch of money at the time. And I mean, it's crazy how much cars cost. So with that being said, I never wanted to make that mistake again, because there's nothing wrong with it. For all intents and purposes, there's nothing wrong with that car. It's got a bad relay, and there's a few little wiring things got to be fixed on it, but nothing's wrong with it. But even when I'm driving it, it's not that enjoyable. It's wild. It's just, you know, it's not that enjoyable. You can't put the wife in it. You know, she's always on edge. Oh gosh, what's about to blow up? You know, you can't have a good time. So that's why I'm working on the Volare. 4-door, right? Me and my daughter like to go see concerts. We like to hang out at shows, right? And we just need something to get there. But Papa requires some kind of cool custom engine. It's got to be blue and black. That's my thing. I love blue and black engines. It just so happens that the Land Rover had a blue engine in it, so that was cool. I got to do another blue and black engine. That's my favorite. That's my favorite color combination. If you've seen any engine I've ever built, you'll know that's it. So I bought this 6 here. Like the dude was like some kind of drag racer dude from back in the day. Hung out with Don Garlits, right? And if anybody doesn't know, I live right around the corner from the first Don Garlits museum that was opened in Seffner, Florida, right by his house, which is now a truck shop there on 574 MLK. And I live right around the corner from that thing. So it's just cool that, you know, the history of this area had led me to somehow buying this engine from a man who was showing me pictures of him and Don Garlits hanging out. I just thought it was cool. He tells me that it's the head was milled to like somewhere in the 10.5 to 1 compression area. He tells me he did some port work blending. I looked in there, and it does appear that he did. The more I get to looking at this thing, I mean, look, the Offenhauser valve cover. The old man had the forethought to have it nicely black powder coated. I mean, he really liked this engine. Unfortunately, through trying to find the title for the last car, I found out that he had passed. He was pretty old. So I don't know if that makes me a little more sentimental about it, but I feel like, you know, as I was dragging this stuff up on the trailer, the man was really like listen, you're going to be surprised by that slant six. Like, listen, man, I'm telling you, that slant six is going to blow. He said, man, put a little nitrous on it, and he's smiling big. He says, you can do it. And I'm like, yeah, you pay him the money. You're getting out of there. You're not even sure if you did the right thing by letting $3,000 go, But then when you open up the valve cover and you see things like this, ARP valves or ARP head studs. Like, homie was going to make some juice with this thing, and everything's fresh. Actually, the bottom end had the bottom end had a tag on it that was built from Titan engines, I guess somewhere up there in Jacksonville, Florida. And so I called Titan Engines, I give them the number off the tag, and they told me it was built for a customer, gave me the man's name. So I knew right away, he's telling the truth about this thing. So he says, we built only the bottom end, sans the camshaft, and timing set. We built the crank, put the rods, pistons, all that. He said, we don't know what camshaft's in that thing. We don't know anything about the head. We had nothing to do with it. So I knew right away the man was telling the truth, and he showed me the receipt for the biggest camshaft they make for this solid camshaft. It's a 440 lift. I'll post, I'll edit in a list of the specs to the camshaft, but it's supposed to be the biggest camshaft they make for a. I don't know a ton about these things other than they hauled me around when I was a kid, tons of them. So I'm trying to learn more about them too. I've been watching Uncle Tony like everybody else who wants to know about a slant six, asking him questions when I can, and he's helped out a lot, I believe. So anyway, with all that being said, I didn't want to put it in the dirt, but I wanted to do something with it because I feel the passion that the man had for it when he built it. So I definitely wanted to put it on the road, man. When someone says you're gonna love that, I promise, and they're walking it to the trailer like, hey man, pay attention to that thing. It's not what you think, and maybe he's right. So we're gonna see, good, bad, or indifferent. I might take the oil pan off this thing. I might take the timing cover off just to, verify. But it's an awful lot of work. I believe that the engine's good. I've stored it pretty decently, and I don't see any rust or crazy stuff going on with it. Transmission over here, it's got some dust on it. It's been sitting, like I said, probably 3-4 years now, maybe. I bought this, but it's literally brand new. Deep pan, all that. Why wouldn't it work? The guy was like a zillion years old. He knows where to go get a transmission built, I'm sure. So other than that, literally almost nothing to this thing. I fixed the trunk because there was rust right here, all through in here. That was rusted completely through. Turned this into a frog pond, legit. There was frogs jumping out of it. It was outside during the last bad hurricane we had. And all I did was spray it with some epoxy primer and then rub my dirty old hands over it when it was still nice and sticky, so it wasn't so bright white. And I think it come out pretty good. And what if it's still too bright white? I just rub my hand on it until it's nasty dirty. It's primer, so it's kind of porous, It'll be enough to keep the water out of there and let me enjoy this car. There's one other kind of rust hole you might be able to see. The light, yes, there she is. We're going to blow some gutter flashing in there and some caulk just like they did in the 80s and just dry it up. So the other thing I like about this car is it has air conditioning, and the stuff to rebuild the air conditioning is not really that expensive. So I figured, why not have a kind of cool car, that has air conditioning, maybe has a little giddy up and go, put nitrous on it. Why not? Admit it has nitrous. The stupid car has nitrous. Take it down to Leadfoot City, do some donuts if they let you, make some passes. Don't expect nothing. whatever you get, hilarious. It's fun. It's a 4-door Volare. I guess all this to say, guys, like, there's a shortage, I believe, of people that are this passionate about cars and stuff, man. And I want to kind of share it with people, and I want to get people excited maybe about just messing with any kind of old car. I like anything old, guys. I picked this up, Puck, like 1983 or 85, I don't know, some junk like that. Daimler Steyr Puck import. Wrap your head around that. Daimler Steyr Puck. Daimler as in Daimler Chrysler, Steyr as in Steyr Firearms, and then Puck. So, you know, who was importing this stuff? It's just a cool story, along with the old single barrel intake and exhaust that was on this Volare before I went to a junkyard and found a Super 6 setup, and have already converted this one time to a Super 6 just to do a burnout in the backyard for $100. Man, you can't beat it, you know. And it was fun, and I didn't care, and I didn't need it to look, you know, like that. I didn't, you know. So anyway, if you guys want to follow along, you guys want to watch this, I'd appreciate it. I mean, why do it and keep it all to yourself? I haven't made videos. I never thought, you know, share this until I was kind of blessed with this shop that I have now. And I realized how much time I spent when I was young looking up to people that had a shop and things like that. And I remember being kind of disappointed by some of them, you know, maybe with their attitude against younger people who didn't know a lot or whatever. And so I didn't want to be that guy. And so I have some friends, some real close friends actually, who encouraged me to make some videos and just show what I like to do best. And I'm blessed enough where I can work for myself for now. Hopefully we can continue that. This work's going on like 2 years. So I just hope that through enjoying this stuff for myself, I can share it with other people who might like it just as much. Not to be corny, not to be, you know, ingenuine. That's real. I can't stress that enough. So if you like it, guys, subscribe. If not, I mean, no biggie. It's better for people who are really into this stuff anyway. But that's where we're at. Hopefully within the next couple days, I'll have this air conditioning unit so we can put it in the Land Rover and be one of the very few Series 3 Land Rovers that has air conditioning that looks any kind of good. So hopefully you follow along with that too. Check out some of my other videos, because they're kind of random and sporadic right now. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm trying to group them up and, you know, put them together. I don't know. Like I said, guys, bear with me. I'm trying to dedicate myself to this. I'm trying to make it happen and bring you something that you want to watch. If it sucks, say it sucks, and then I'll completely steer away from it, you know. But I don't get to work out here every day of the week, because I also have 5-acre property that I got to take care of. But I'll give you everything I can, guys. And if you just bear with me, hopefully you'll see something eventually that you like. Like my D150, 1987. I pulled out the old crummy engine that was blowing freeze plugs. They were rusting out, and just, it ran great, but it was just freeze plugs falling out of it, rust in the rate. I mean, just like you put pond water in the thing to cool it down. So we're actually going to make a video going through this, and we're going to see how much of it I can reuse, because I have some new heads, some stuff like that. And I already cheated. I looked in there with a bore scope, and it has 30 over pistons. Wow. So it's been rebuilt before. So kind of, you know, want to go autopsy that and see what, you know, is inside there and what's going on. And we'll be firing this girl up here real soon. I got just a little bit of fuel to plumb to her still, and a few little checks and balances. And we're going to run AC from an 87 Dodge Ram off of a 97 Jeep Grand Cherokee AC compressor, serpentine drive and everything, with the conversion hoses that I had made. We're gonna see if it works. You know, I hate driving. I ain't with it. So anyway, that being said, I'll let you guys get out of here. I appreciate you paying attention to maybe a little longer of a video. Just realized I ain't told you too much about what we're doing yet, and you know, the shorts are easy, but I wanted to be able to reach out and kind of tell you what the shorts are kind of all about and make you familiar with the currently 3 projects that we have going on now. We will get in to the little brown car too as well. That's actually a really nice car, but that's, you know, and we'll get to it. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and hopefully you stay tuned and come back, and we'll see you later. Thank you.